Hey guys, what's going on? This is Castro here at YS Stocks and Options. And I just wanted to come back and give you guys another trading idea. Just to let you guys know the last trading idea that we proposed did amazingly well, right? And that one was the Qs pulling back to the mean, right? You actually went lower than we expected. We made nice profits. Some people made 30%, some people made up to 69% profits on this one in particular. But what we're seeing here, just wanted to go over the technical so you guys, can actually visualize, conceptualize what we're seeing. So first and foremost, we're going to draw some support and resistance lines here, right? And in order for us to see where exactly the Qs can go next. So when we get started, as we get started here, this here, right, this area here, this line used to be support. And it was support because, we know a support area. It ceased to go any lower there. It went up, right? And then it eventually broke. So this became prior support. And we know that if this was prior support, right, it now becomes what? Resistance. Yay, right? So because it became resistance, right? Became resistance thereafter, we saw the Qs go lower, right, to a new support area, right? The prior support became resistance, right? And then established a new support area, boom, right here. And as we see this here, it ceased to go any lower here. That's why support went up. Try to retest that resistance area, came down to support again, right? We see some distribution happen here, and then it declined, right? Decline broke past support number one, broke past support number one, and we saw established a new support area. We'll call this support number two, right? And then we see some accumulation over here. So again, it broke through, right? Remember, support becomes resistance if it breaks below it. So here, it broke above it, so it became support once again, boom, right? And we saw this kind of like a quoting effect here where it was coming down to the second support area, breaking out a resistance and coming back down and so on and so forth, right? The biggest takeaway here is that we see some great opportunities for us to jump in some trades, right? Especially one trade in particular. And this one again is the Qs, right? Triple Qs, triple Qs puts. Right? So as you can imagine, as you can see here, the Qs has also support around this area, right? You see that? It has support around this area here. Right? Boom. It's an area of interest for the Qs. All right, this is a support area. As you guys see, this is a support area. And what is the line above? Look at this. This is resistance, right? This is resistance right here. Right? We're gonna color this something different. Right? We established another support area. As you guys can see, went up, came down, establishing a higher low, went up, right? Came down, a higher low, went up, came down, another higher low. And what do you guys think is gonna happen? Few things, right? This is resistance, as we can see here, when the Q's traded, right? Wednesday, this is Monday, July 25th. This is Tuesday, the 26th of July. This is the 27th. On Wednesday, the 27th of July, right? It came very, very close, right? Very, very close to this area here. Right? If anything, it stopped almost to the penny, right, of this support area, right? And this support area here is resistance as we outline it. Every time a stock or ETF hits resistance, we have to see what it does. Right? It hit resistance here, it distributed, it went down, right? It's then established a new, this is a channel, established support and resistance area. This is the resistance area, and this is the channel line, right, underneath it. And look what happened here, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Here resistance, came back to the channel line of support, right? Try to hit resistance again, came down, right? Here resistance came down. You guys see the pattern. And hence, I really like this particular trade. And the reason for this is because one, the Qs are sitting at resistance. Number two, we just had report earnings from most of the mega tech companies. Some had disappointing earnings, but for the most part, some of them actually beat earnings, right? We had Apple has not produced earnings yet, but we had Google had good earnings. We just have Facebook that didn't produce good earnings or didn't produce good earnings at all. So that was the earnings miss. And then we also had Microsoft, right? That missed earnings, but it just rallied anyway. And now we're looking for Amazon and Apple to actually report earnings. How well they're going to do, I don't know, right? But what I do know is a few things. I knew that when looking at the technicals, we know that there's resistance at this area here. We saw it multiple times, right? We mentioned it that it was support, then it became resistance around what May timeframe. If you look at the day here, this is May, right? Again, it tried to test that resistance area May 17th. We saw some distribution here in the first week of June, right? Didn't go any farther, right? Then this, right? And now we're seeing it test once again, right? It tested that same support area. When was this? The 21st of July and the 22nd of July. And now it's retesting that same area again, right? Within that channel line. So this leads me to believe that we're going to see some downside here, right? Post earnings, the market rallied yesterday. Everything rallied for the most part. And while we find ourselves in this channel and people are getting truly excited, we know better that this market, right? This market, S&P 500, Russell 2000, Dow Jones Industrial, and the triple Qs, right, are deserving of pullback because of the rally that has, no unexplained reason for what, right? For it happening, because we still find ourselves in a state of inflation, right? We still have, COVID remnants in different nations, right? There's still war going on right now between Ukraine and Ukraine and Russia. So that alone lets us know that, hey, it's going to be a far cry before we see the market actually go higher, 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 because we find ourselves in a bearish market still. Even though we may see, higher lows, right? But this bear market here is still in full effect. So as I look into this, right, and I'm gonna save this idea here so you guys can have it. We can actually take a look at it later, right? So a few indicators that I love to use whenever I'm actually doing forecasts are the CCI, right? The CCI here looks like it's almost at overbought territory, right? So potentially we can see some high, right? We can see the Qs go a little bit higher potentially, right? But the CCI is still trending up. But I'm forecasting. You guys gonna see this right now. I am forecasting that we're gonna have a pullback. See here. I am forecasting a pullback. And this pullback is gonna be to the mean. I have no idea what's going on here. Yeah, so I see this pullback happening right here to the mean, to this area right here, right? So I see the Q's pulling back to $295.96, 97 cents, 295.97. That's the target that I have the Q's pulling back by next week, right? So what I'm going to be buying, I'm looking into buying the 300, right? The 300 puts and selling the 295 puts, right? That's the spread that I'm actually looking at for buying for my put debit spreads. We always teach expiration dates at least 4 to 5 weeks out. So I'm gonna be buying all the way to the 19th of August. I think that gives me a lot of time. Again, that's within the 3 to 5 weeks area. So again, I will be buying a 300 puts, right? 300 puts, right? With 295 selling, right? I buy the 300 and I will be selling the 295 here in particular. I like this particular trade. And the reason being is because everything that I just explained a little bit earlier, right? A lot of lines here, support and resistance line, but yeah, again, another trading idea that we're going to share with you guys, and we'll make sure that we monitor the progress and keep you guys posted on this, right? We always say, always practice logic or emotion whenever you're trading or you're investing. But more importantly, right, if you do nothing else, we'll see you guys at the finish line. Peace and continue to be blessed.